recite a Surah Fatiha for the marhumin of the sponsors of the Majlis, the Iftar tonight, and also for the Shuhada of Islam. Please bring all of them into your mind, and Surah Al-Fatiha. All right, just as a reminder, this Saturday, inshallah, we will have an all-nighter for everyone, not just the kids, adults, everyone. We have activities being planned right now for that all-nighter. And inshallah, Sunday, we will have the Jashan for the Wiladat of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. So that's exciting. Weekend that's coming up, something to look forward to. All right then. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Sayyidina wa Maulana Abil Qasim Muhammad. وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله الأعظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. We are speaking about life. We're speaking about life, and when we talk about life, we want to know that as we are going through our life, how do we live our life? What are the things to pay attention to? What should we give importance to? Where should we be spending most of our time? What relationships in this world, in this life, actually matter? How are we able to become successful in life? These are all issues that are related to each and every one of you. If you like it or not, you all are confused about life. I'm not saying that I'm not. I'm just like you all, it is confusing because we are in this, and this is the irony of life. We are, for example, going through life, and we want to learn about life, and by the time if we learn it, by the time we learn it, it's finished. Right? And that's why some things in life are difficult to understand. For example, you are forced to make a decision, the most important decisions of your life at an age when you are immature and ignorant. For example, you are told, so what did you decide on or your major? Or what field do you want to be in? And when are you being asked? When you're 16. And when you ask a kid that's 16 like that, right, it's funny. It's basically funny. He has no clue. I want to be this. He doesn't even know himself to know what he wants to do. Or, for example, let's say one of the most important decisions we make when we are stupid is marriage. And it's true. It is true. Because what happens is that when we want to get married, we are like young, immature, not having any wisdom, and we make decisions on that. And what happens now when we do get married, now we have to live the rest of the life with that decision. It's difficult. These are things in life that you see are difficult. And one of those things is knowing what life is. Really, we go through life, we attend all these majalis, and all the speeches, and do all the learning, and read all the books, whatever it is, and then we're trying to figure out what is life. So it's really important that we get to know what is life when we are young. or we have the time to do something about it. And this is what we want to do in this month of Ramadan. We want to learn about life. That's basically what we are trying to do. And I mentioned to you that in order to understand life, two things are necessary. One is the usage of the power of imagination. Imagination is a power that you have, like intellect, like anger, like passion. There's a power that is innate in all of us. It's called imagination. This is something that you all have. But a lot of us don't use it that much. In fact, we condemn it. And we condemn people who use it too much. Right? We don't look at that. Really, I was, hearing some comments of people because, who watched the Avengers. And they watched the Avengers and they're like, how can people even watch these movies? It's disgusting. It makes no sense. You should only make movies about real life things. And these type of things. And I was wondering, is it, maybe, we might want to imagine what the idea is. Because if that is the case, you should say the same thing regarding Jannat. It's just hocus pocus. You need to talk about something real. Something about real life. What is this Jannat? What is this Jahannam? You see, understand this. It's so important for us to understand that when a person doesn't use his imagination, then the things that he ought to reach and the goals that he ought to reach in his life are unreachable. And he stops himself. He prevents himself from going forward. So the first thing that you need to use is imagination. Number one. The second thing that prevents us from understanding life is the wrong idea about death. When you have the wrong idea of what death is, then your whole concept of your life is distorted. It's not the same. It's not real. It's distorted. And hence, you will see that people who do not understand death, when they're not living a life, they're letting life live them. Just go through it. They're running away, avoiding it. They don't even want to mention it. Why? Because it's so scary. It's so scary. Anything that's going to bring them the thought of death or even closer to death, you will see will freak them out. And when that happens, then they're not living a life. They're afraid of life. They're afraid of life. And they cannot live a life. So we need to understand death, and we need to understand it from the point of view of imagination. Now let me put these things together so that you can understand what I'm talking about, and then we go back to defining life the way we want it, the way it should be, and the way it ought to be. Send a salawats. I had mentioned before that life should be something that is attractive. That is pleasurable. That's something that you can say that, yes, this is life. The statement when you say, yeah, that's life, man. When you say that, what does that mean? It means that when you are completely satisfied or happy or gratified or feel that gratification, you feel that you're alive. When you say that's life, it doesn't mean that this life is better than that life. No, this is what life is. Life means that I am completely happy. I am completely satisfied. Wow, I love that. Love that. And that feeling that comes from inside of you is what makes you feel alive. Now, tell me, if that is the case, why? I want to define life for you. And I want you to define it for yourself. Because a lot of us, when we look at life, We look at what? We look at all the problems and the specifics and the particular issues that are happening in our life, which is the drama. The drama that goes on in our life. Problems, suffering, bills, credit cards, those things that we are going through every day in our life. When you look at those things, we define life like that. And what happens when we define life like that? We end up having a negative view about life and feeling miserable and ending up being miserable. That's what we are. We end up doing that. Instead of that, what should we be doing? Actually look at life yourself. Now tell me, when you look at life, you'll see that there is a life, that we are living. And this life, we'll see, has a major part that's in it. It's called death. It's called death, maut. It's going to happen, we all know it. But a lot of people who think that death is the ending of that, of life, when you say that death is the ending of life, this is what ends up becoming an obstacle for you from understanding life. My friends, it's very simple. There is this life, there is a death, and there is a life after that. There's a life after that. Most of us don't believe in the life after we die. Most of us don't believe in that. We believe this is life, and we also accept that there is a hereafter. We are Muslims, right? And by being Muslims, we do accept that there is a hereafter. Akhirat, there's Jannat, there's heaven, there's hell, all these things. We accept that. But do we believe in it? No, we don't believe in it. Well, how can you say we don't believe in it? Well, it's simple. Let me just give this to you and you understand from that way. Tell me, what do you think that life after death is? In your mind, just right now, all the things that you have learned, everything that you have learned, what do you think is going to happen there? Imagine this. I just want you to just think about it. What is it that's going to happen there? Well, there's going to be a day of judgment. There'll be a big court. We'll all stand up there and and we'll have to give judgment. Okay, I'm talking about after that, let's say, as the judgment is over and all that, and you won the case. So now that you won the case, what happens after that? Well, you go to Jannat. Okay, good. Right, now, you go to Jannat, right? Very good. What are you going to do there? We're going to have fun. Okay, we're going to have fun. Great. What are you going to do there? We'll eat. Anar. Right? And there'll be big anars there that you can dive into it. Okay, now I want you to understand this. Once you go in it, right? Once you go in it, trust me, what do you think it is? Do you or not think that Jannat is a place where we will be rewarded? Right? That's what you think, right? In other words, our life hereafter is a place where we are rewarded. We are living here and there will be rewarded. We are not alive there. And we're just going to be rewarded. We'll be on recliners, we'll be entertained, I don't know, by jesters, comedians in our own court we'll make, and we'll be just hanging out there and being rewarded. You see, we think that Akhirat is a place of reward. That's it. It's not a place of life. Life is here. This is where all the action is. It's where all the action is, right? All the action is here. There we just are going to get the reward of our actions here. That's it. Isn't that your idea of life? Tell me about it. Until now, tell you, All the speeches you have heard, all the majalis, all the things you have heard, you think that that's where it is. Alhamdulillah, finished, we are done. And now we just go there and relax, and that's how Allah describes it in the Quran. So in other words, there's no life there. We're not living, we're just being rewarded there. Life is here where you have relationships, where you have problems, where you have issues, where you have drama, you have all these things, and then it's all going to end. You see, my friends, because we think like that, we really, do not want that Jannat. Is that appealing to you? That sort of Jannat? That sort of life? Where you're just on a vacation? On the beach? Forever? Watching the waves? With a, halal drink in your hand? Really, if that is Jannat, why is it so appealing? You see, most of us, because of this misunderstanding that we have, are not interested in Jannat. That's why we don't want to leave this life of ours. We don't want that Jannat. And this is where the problem comes in. Jannat is regarding that place. What is Jannat? My friends, Jannat is not just a place where you get rewards and that's it. No, that's not Jannat. When Allah says, and let me read the rest of the ayat for you that I read. He says, وَمَا هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَهْوٌ وَلَعِبٌ. He says, the life of this world is nothing but a game. It's nothing but a game. He says, Inna dar al-akhirah lahayal hayawan. He says, the life after that, now that is real life. That's where you'll actually be alive. In other words, this is game. This is just a game. That's where all the excitement is. That's where all the excitement is. Again, the time limit is there for us to go, and I'm going to go step by step. There's a lot of things to say, and we have a lot of things to do. Those who are here every day, they are benefiting from the series of thoughts that we are going through. And I want you to understand this really well, because this is a subject that I cannot talk about in 1 day or 2 days. It's a subject that has to be explained slowly so that you understand it very well. Understand it, So Jannat is a place which Allah says is real life. That is where you will feel real life. That's where all the excitement is, not here. Here is nothing. Let me just give one example and I'll end it. There's a show that I used to watch when I was a kid. It was a sci-fi show on TV, black and white. When I was growing up, a lot of the shows were black and white TV, It was called the, I forgot the name of the sci-fi show, The Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone. I don't know, it's way before all the youngsters here, you weren't even born in those days. But you might see it on, TV Land or those rerun shows, probably you might see it there. Twilight Zone was an interesting show about sci-fi, It used to be about, aliens and all these things, right? So it used to raise issues regarding something that, is only imagined, but we don't know for sure. But it used to raise issues like that. So one of the episodes I remember, and this is the only episode I do remember from that, right? Is this one thief, is running away and he's shot by the cops and he's dead. Then what happened is that he wakes up and he sees this, a nice, decent white guy, next to him. And he says, Angel, obviously. So he then says, what happened? I thought I was dead, He says, you are. But I'm a thief. I was expecting to go to hell, He thinks he's in hell, like heaven. This is heaven. So angel says, no. I am in charge of taking you to your place. So the angel takes him to his place, And it's like a huge, nice, huge suite, with everything. He says, this is your suite. He looks at it. I mean, everything is gorgeous, beautiful. Everything is beautiful. He says, and he says, listen, you can have anything you want, any food you want, whatever it is that you want. It'll be there for you. Just order it, it'll come. That's it. He's like, wow, I wasn't expecting this. He thought he was going to go to hell, right? So he's not expecting this. So now, the angel says, I'll be back. I'm your caretaker, and I'll be back after a month to check on you, right? Whatever you want, again, it's going to come. So he orders a New York steak, and it comes, and then, something else, and then all of a sudden, all the things are coming. After 1 month, the angel comes back to him. And this guy, after 1 month of, all these things, right, looks depressed. He looks miserable. He says, what happened? He says, listen, I thought this place was going to be fun and exciting, but it's not exciting anymore. I mean, I'm getting everything I want. After a while, it gets boring. Just getting everything I want, that's boring. I mean, there I had fun. I went after it. I worked for it, and that's why I loved it when I got it. When I wanted something, when I got an income, I worked for it. Even as a thief, I had to do something to get it, But I worked for it. And, it used to be fun. But here, it's not fun. It's like everything you're just being given. Anything you want, you can have it. It's boring. I don't like this. And he says, well, that's the way it is. And he says, but I thought heaven would be better than this. And the angel says, who says you're in heaven? And the fact is that the Jannat that we have in our minds is like this hell that this show created. That's why we're afraid of it. We are afraid of Jannah. Allah, please keep me away from there. I'll be happy here. Let me go through this. I'll be happy here. Really, this is why our idea of Akhirat is so messed up that our idea of life is messed up. We do not imagine that in the right way. My friends, really, everything, what do you want in life? What do you want from your life? Maulana, we want to enjoy. Okay, but enjoy without any effects. Without any effect on us. Meaning I want to be up all night without getting tired. I want to eat as much as I can without getting sick. Okay, but that imagination that you have can only be achieved in that life, not this life. Imagine whatever you want to imagine of life that you want. You will see that the ending of your imagination, the epic, the seal of your imagination is what? Is there, not here. It's there. And that's what we want in life. I will, inshallah, go forward with this tomorrow and continue with this tomorrow when we go forward. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a tawfiq and a blessing to be on the right paths, the wisdom to understand His guidance, hasten the reappearance of our Imam, make us His helper when He comes. Wa akhir da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Now we have time for one question, I guess. Any questions? Yes.
Going back to yesterday, the wafat or the shahadat of Bibi Khadija. So after your lecture, it made me think. We call it wafat. Actually, isn't it
Shahadat?
Because they,
yes, I mean,
purpose and,
yes, yeah, of course. The thing that, yes, I mean, you could call it shahadat also because she was put in circumstances where she lost her health, she lost her ability for everything, right? She was put in those hard and harsh circumstances that led to her death, right? But it's just that because of the fact that there is no direct link. There's no direct link. Like, for example, Bibi Fatima has a direct link. Meaning that when she was injured, from that time to her death is like a few days, like a few weeks. And so you can relate that to this, and hence you can say that she was shaheed. But because there's no direct link for her, because there are other people who died also there, right? And she lived for 3 years there in those situations. So it was like a slow death. And that's why, there's, to say that. But yes, to us, we regard her death as shaheed because she shouldn't have died. She was, she wasn't old. She wasn't old. She was, at the time that she died, she was what? At the time that she died, not even 39 years old. Right? 40. She was 40 years old when she died. Because when she married the Prophet, she was 28. When she married the Prophet. From that time until she died, huh? No, 28. When she married the Prophet, she was 28.
Going back to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was he was also his death was a shahada.
Yes, you can say that. No. The information is not conflicting. It's just sensitive. It's one of those things, that implicates a lot. Hell's going to freeze over. By the time that's going to get debated, So as I said, that there will be a time just to give an answer to that and a closure to that. Don't feel so bad because, when the Imam will come back, there's these 2 certain bodies he's going to excavate from their graves, and he's going to hang them on a tree and burn them with the tree, right? And they will be burned, right? People who are responsible for whatever, right? So let's say, that, hey, and we know that, at the end, Allah is going to clear all accounts, close all ends that are untied, make sure that justice is done throughout. So that is where we are happy, that the ending justice is with Allah, and we say Alhamdulillah. We are not afraid or worried, all right? Let's end over here, and we'll meet tomorrow.